Okay, so now we are shifting attention to the eastern part of the Indian subcontinent, where so many different dynasties sprang up after the Gupta period. So some of the very famous dynasties that we hear from the eastern side is the Pala dynasty, which was which had its capital in Bengal and in Bihar regions, and later on it even extended up to Assam and in the northeast. Then we also have the Sena. So the Senas came after the Pala Empire, and the Senas were much more militaristic, aggressive, and very powerful dynasty. They were the ones who revived Hinduism from the Palas Buddhism shift. So there was a very big shift that happened, and the Orthodox Hinduism, in which Shaivism became one of the major religions of that period, and they had their geographical territories extending up to Odisha. Of course, then in the medieval period, you have the Gajapati kingdom and all, who were a very big, again, Hindu influenced dynasty and did a lot of different endowments to the Jagannath Puri temple. And then as part of the northeast, then we have a lot of different dynasties. So most of the dynasties were around the areas of Assam, and as well as some areas of Tripura and Arunachal Pradesh. But we'll only mostly focus on Assam, because Assam also had many different dynasties. The most famous ones that come from there is the Varman dynasty, which had its very early beginnings in the Mauryan period, but they were very long-lasting dynasty, living until the 11th and 12th centuries of the Common Era, and then they were displaced by the Palas later on. So they have a very long history as well, a lot of different inscriptions. We also, from there, we also understand a lot of their scripts. So in the eastern part of the continent, we have the Gaudi script coming up, which is the Bengali script, which we'll be looking at. So these are some of the dynasties of the eastern parts. Okay, so first we'll be looking into is the Pala Empire. Pala Empire's mainly inscriptions come from the copper plates, which was very beautifully designed, and on the top of the inscription plates they would have the royal seal on top. Okay, so the first one we'll be looking into is the Khalimpur copper plates of Dharmapala, which has been dated to year 32 and has been translated by Keelhorn in 1896-97. So it begins with a greeting with Om Hail. So now to be noticed is the Pala Empire were mostly Buddhist in nature. They were very devout Buddhists, setting up one of the biggest Buddhist universities in the world during that time, which was Nalanda, Vikramshila, Udantapuri, such different Suvarnabhumi also comes in it, such different monasteries that they had set up in those areas. But in a way, they're also very Hindu as well, especially they believe in the tantric side of Hinduism, as we can see from the texts and in the inscriptions. Okay. So it begins, may the 10 powers of Vajrasena. So Vajrasena is one of the bodhisattvas of the Buddhist theology. So here they're invoking his power. So here they're giving his physical, or actually his spiritual power that he is seeing. Then it invokes Dharmapala. Dharmapala was the king. Here he is shown to be sitting on a diamond throne. Now this diamond throne could be one of those diamond thrones of Buddha. So as a way to affiliate themselves, so even he must have built a diamond throne in a similar fashion for himself and for all the kings of the Pala dynasty. His queen also is mentioned, although the name is not given. So they believed in their god known as Daitya Vishnu. Now he could be part of either some sort of a representation Lord Vishnu, or could be part of the Buddha as well. The Vapyata is also being mentioned. Then comes Gopala. So now in the early verses of this copper plate, uh, it is giving these names are not names of gods but the names of their progenitor. So the Pala empire believed that the founder of the empire was known as Gopala, after which the Pala came from there. So seems that there was someone named Daitya Vishnu who established the Pala dynasty. Here are some mentions of goddesses are also there, such as Rohini, who is supposed to be a constellation, and in the Puranic folklore, she is supposed to be married to Chandradev, and she's one of his favorite queens. Then Swaha is nothing. She's mostly invoked in sacrificial hymns, and she's known as the wife of Lord Agni. And Sarvani of Lord Shiva, and Bhadra of the Lord of Guyakas. So many people are being mentioned. So it seems that Deda Devi had become the wife of Gopala. So here in the fifth verse, it is the mentioning of the beginning of the line, and she is known as from the Bhadra king. Then comes Dharmapala. So it seems that he was Gopala's son. Okay, and it seems from